I was trying to get there as fast as possible, right when he turned around, so he couldn't start running at me. He's a big dude. He wasn't even moving, and I still felt it.
Let's go, Buffalo. I'm on the 4th floor.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. You just got embarrassed in LA. It's time to go to Detroit and right the ship and get back on track. You can still get the 1 seed.
Hell of a monologue, buddy. Yo, what's good, beautiful people? We back on Air It Out. I'm your host, as always, AJ Greene. Got my guy Justin Pugh with me.
We got a good slate of action to talk about today. There was a lot of great games this past weekend. It's starting to feel like playoff football. We got a lot of great games on the slate to talk about for this upcoming week as well. And our guest, we got a good one today, an exciting one today. Put that in quotes. That might be a little hint for you.
And we've got an exciting start to the show with our favorite segment. Let's jump into it. It's a little different. We got 4 names, so you got to go start, bench, trade, then cut.
I like this. I like this because if we ever, like me and you sometimes argue who should be in it, we can just throw an extra guy in there. Our show, our rules, deal with it. Okay, so here are the names that we're going with. First, we got Baker Mayfield. Second, we got Sam Darnold. Third, we got Geno Smith. And fourth, we have Jared Goff. All right, so all 4 names. Start, bench, cut, trade.
Yep.
Go.
I'm starting Baker. I'm benching Goff. I trust Goff to come in there for me. I'm trading Sam Darnold just because he's young. He's got some good tape from this season.
Okay, all right.
And I'm cutting Geno. I think he's getting towards the end of his career. There's not too many times he could get let back in the door.
Well, you put Geno in this conversation, right?
Yeah.
And now you're getting rid of him. You brought him in just to take his legs out from under him.
I put him in a conversation because he deserves his respect on being able to revamp his career.
All right, well, then we need to put
He was about to get left off the list.
we got to get Jameson on the conversation. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to start Baker, bench Geno, trade Goff, cut Sam Darnold because Sam hasn't got paid yet. The rest of the guys are all paid. Sam, I need 3 or 4 more games out of you, and I need you to hit free agency, and then I might bump you up on the list.
Why are you trading Goff?
I'm trading you Goff because you've already got traded before. I'm doing it may be a little dirty, but I'm doing what the Rams did to you before. You're on the trade block.
I'm not mad at your start, bench, trade, cut. I'm not mad at it. But now we're in 3rd and short where we're going to recap some of our favorite moments from this past weekend.
Yeah, the quarterbacks we just talked about all got second chances. These guys don't need a second chance. They're going to be at these teams forever. I'm talking about Chargers at Chiefs. I'm talking about Herbert Mahomes, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, everybody's well-versed. Everybody's coming into this game knowing what they got to do. And somehow the Chiefs always find a way to do exactly that. Every time, what is it? Isn't it like a record that... Like,
10 consecutive. That was
more than 10, wasn't it?
10 games they've won by 1 possession.
That's insane work. For the back-to-back champions to constantly find a way to win a game. It's like, it don't matter if you're winning by 3-4 touchdowns as long as you end them with a W.
As long as Patrick Mahomes has the ball in his hand with a chance to win the game in the 4th quarter, he's winning the game. So he might not be the MVP, right? It could be Lamar, it could be Josh Allen, maybe it's one of the running backs, but Patrick Mahomes is the most valuable player in the NFL. You put any other quarterback on the Chiefs, they might be 500. They might not even be in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes, he's the mini GOAT. He hasn't surpassed Brady just yet. He's got to win a few more rings.
But he really does do stuff Brady could have never done. If you think about that. Like, I didn't see, like, you want to talk about off-balance throws. I've seen this one.
That's the one.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Like, I've seen it. I said, how did he throw that? And they saw the replay. He's like...
Massive 3rd down conversion that he picked up on one of the drives late in the game. I mean, and then the kicker doinks it off the field goal in for the win.
Anyone else with a doink that came out? Shout out to Sam Darnold. He's one of the quarterbacks we included in our new revamped start, bench, trade, cut list. This Vikings-Falcons games. I'm Kirk Cousins, the whole opposite.
Yeah.
Every team he goes to, he gets worse. So how do you feel about this Vikings-Falcons game?
I thought the Minnesota Vikings, and I said this on this show, like, I'm waiting for them to play a playoff caliber team, and I think they're going to lose that game. They don't lose. They just keep showing up and dominating their teams. I'm like, oh, Kirk Cousins, he knows Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator in Minnesota. He knows his scheme. He's going to be able to make all the right checks. And it was not meant to be. I don't get why the Atlanta Falcons don't turn around and just hand the ball to Bijan every single play. And Tyler Algier, like, they have a 1-2 punch at running back and a great offensive line. They want to air it out, and Kirk keeps throwing bad interceptions.
I don't get why the Atlanta Falcons go draft a first-round quarterback and go sign arguably a backup quarterback for $1,500,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving Kirk Cousins $100 million over 3 years. Before he even gets to the team, before he even is able to shake anyone's hand in the locker room and say, hey, I'm Kirk Cousins, and prove anything to the city, you go and draft his replacement. It makes sense if you're the Green Bay Packers and you had Aaron Rodgers and you draft Jordan Love and you're like, hey, A-Rod, you've won a Super Bowl for us. Like, the city loves you, the fans love you, the locker room loves you. You can overcome us drafting Jordan Love, which even Aaron Rodgers couldn't overcome that because eventually he got pissed off and he left and went to the Jets. You cut out Kirk's legs before he even got to the team and was able to actually build any rapport in the locker room.
Didn't he get signed after the draft?
He got signed before the draft,
sure?
and then they drafted him. Yeah, because Kirk basically came out and said, we wouldn't have signed here if I knew you were drafting a first-round quarterback. Okay. So I think it was a failure from management in Atlanta to set this team up for failure. They're playing against Dallas Turner, the outside linebacker DN on Minnesota, who they should have drafted instead of Michael Penix Jr. Now, this is no indication on Michael Penix and if he's good or not good.
You have no idea.
We will find out one day.
One day.
But if you need help on the D-line and you draft a quarterback when you're trying to make a playoff run with a quarterback you're paying $33 million a year to, that is a flop by the GM, by ownership, by the coaching staff. Don't do that. You do not know how to build a team. And clearly in Atlanta, they are struggling to figure that out.
See, now my question now is, are you keeping Kurt in the game with the trust and faith that he's going to step it up, or to justify paying him that much money?
You got to leave Kirk in at this point. Like, he's shown what he can do throughout the course of his career. And if you paid him all that money, you have to believe that he can do that for this year and into next year. And he's shown flashes. I was at a game where he threw for 500 yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a Thursday night football game. So he has shown the flashes. I don't know what's going on in these last 4 games. And if they collapse like they are, you really got to question who the starting quarterback is next year. So we mentioned some MVP candidates. The MVP might be emerging out of a game yesterday. The Buffalo Bills visit the LA Rams. Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns, but Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, our boy, friend of the program, Kyron Williams, proved to be too much for the Bills. They get a crucial win, keeps them alive, keeps the playoff hopes alive. Give me your thoughts on that game.
First off, I got to apologize to you on Puka. Boy. Boy.
Because you don't think he shouldn't be.
Puka was balling. I'm still cutting him. I'm still standing on that. But he was balling, bro. And the Bills, obviously, I was at that Bills game in the blizzard, so I seen them really come out and light it up, go crazy. Now you come all the way out to Cali.
It's not like they lost the mojo.
No,
they put up 40 points.
Yeah, but a lot of... Nah, I don't know, bro, because they was down.
The defense.
They was down. They started walking them, and it just wasn't enough. I don't know.
So here's my question.
That's my feeling about that. I don't know. How you got a quarterback rushing for 3, throwing for 3, and lose the game?
Your defense. Like, the one thing I will say, that Miami Dolphins a few weeks ago ran the ball at will against the Buffalo Bills. I thought San Francisco was going to run the ball at will against the Buffalo Bills. The snow kind of disguised that. The snow kind of was the great equalizer in that San Fran game, because San Fran still did run the ball. They just had crazy turnovers. Yeah. LA ran the ball, and then Puka Nacua, who, when you look at Puka, you're not thinking elite receiver. Like, when you see, like, I look at Justin Jefferson, I'm like, that dude.
That's a receiver.
I look at AJ Brown, I'm like, that. Even Cooper Kupp on his own team, I'm like, all right, dude, he's doing his thing. Like, Cooper Kupp can ball. You look at Puka, and I saw something that came out. He said Puka stands for, like, fat kid. Like, that's what it stands for in Samoan. Yeah, he told Tom Brady yesterday after the game, like, Puka means, like, chubby kid. And he is routing people up. The catch he made on the sidelines.
That was beautiful. Boy, that was beautiful. That was low-key a one in the catch. And he just trapped it after. That was beautiful.
Crazy. Puka's the real deal. And Matthew Stafford, who was traded for Jared Goff, who I traded again in our start bench trade cut, he's going against Father Time. Yeah. He makes some throws from all different arm angles. I wouldn't want to play the Rams. I would not want to play the Rams. If they make the playoffs, that is not a team I'm looking to play in the first round. And you know what's crazy? They were on silent count. Like, the Rams it was probably 60-40 Bills fans in LA yesterday.
Yes, they're all in my hotel.
Yeah.
They're all in my hotel. They was, let's go, Buffalo. I'm on the 4th floor.
Right, hold on.
From the lobby.
I got to ask you, though, is Buffalo Bills, like, atmosphere the best you've seen?
I have no idea. I was cold. I was cold. I'm talking every
you couldn't even think about it.
They scored touchdowns. They start throwing snowballs. I'm like, oh, my God. But no, their fans definitely showed out. I thought that was going to be a game empty, and it's everyone's outside. Like, they couldn't wait for it. Out here, you walking around the streets of LA, you see more Bills fans than Los Angeles fans. And then you got to take that 6-hour red eye back with a loss.
Yeah, man, that one hurts. That one hurts. Is Josh Allen now your MVP? He was the first one in NFL history last week to throw and catch a touchdown. 6 touchdowns this week. He's making it closer, though, no?
No.
He's not even making it closer. Lamar, well, is Lamar or is it Saquon? Who?
Saquon.
Okay.
I like Saquon right now.
Saquon just set the
I peeped.
the single season Eagles record. Now he's going for Eric Dickerson all time.
You think he's going to get that?
Yes.
Yes.
You know who he's going to get it against, too? The Giants. Last week of the season.
We already talked about a powerhouse team who always finds a way to get it done, even if they maybe not deserve to get it done.
Yeah.
We done talked about Saquon, this Eagles-Panthers game.
This was a weird game. And I'll tell you this, the NFL is so much about human bias, how you feel when you wake up. Because when you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you wake up and you're like, oh, we're playing the Carolina Panthers today, you think you can sleepwalk through that game and just show up and beat them. Bryce Young's playing much better.
Yeah, he might have to get on that revamp list too.
Yeah, Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, both the guys that got benched this year, are now playing good football. Adam Thielen's come back and he's been balling for the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard got a big contract extension. Panthers O-line, they got nobody on defense. Those dudes are playing their hearts out. And there's a little murmurs coming out of Philly, even though they've won 10 straight games or whatever it is. They're like, AJ Brown's like, what do we got to work on? Passing. Jalen Hurts, a bunch of clips on Twitter right now about Jalen Hurts missing AJ Brown when he's wide open coming out of breaks. And there's starting to be a little bit of, I think there's a little jealousy going on in Philly because Saquon's getting all the press. And we're not talking as much about AJ Brown and Devonta Smith like we were last year. I'm a little nervous for the Eagles for that because when you got a lot of stars, all those mouths want to get fed. Everyone's talking about the O-line and Saquon. The receivers are starting to get a little pissed off. What are your thoughts there? If you aren't getting the ball very much when you're used to being the alpha.
I'm definitely tight. But look, I'm tight in games like that.
Yeah.
Like when the game's coming down to the wire, you in a position to lose, and I feel like I wasn't utilized properly. I could have. It's never had to be this close.
Yeah.
Then I'm feeling away. But I mean, I'm not there. I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what the game plan looks like. I don't know, what the mid-game adjustments are looking like for them. But to answer your question, yeah, if the game's coming down to that wire and I feel like I wasn't utilized properly, I'm definitely kind of side-eyeing offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I think the Eagles woke up. They were sleepwalking through the game. A little bit like, can we pan to the...
No, get out of there. Get out of there. You don't even got socks on.
I got
don't
socks on.
Don't worry about what my feet is looking like.
I got socks on. I think the Eagles still have a little bit of turkey hangover going on because they sleepwalked through it, but they still won.
They won. Yeah,
what do
matter.
good teams do? No one's asking how the Chiefs won all these games. They're like, hey, they're the 1 seed. They're clinching the division. They're clinching. I mean, with Buffalo losing, I think they not only clinched the AFC West, they're closing in on the 1 seed for the playoffs. Philadelphia, don't be so mad. You guys are winning games. No one's close to you. It's you and the Lions. See you in the NFC Championship. Speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles, that is the perfect segue for the guest we have on today. I told you exciting. It's a little preface. We're going to ask him about the exciting whites. Cooper DeJean is coming on the show today.
It's that time of the show where we invite today's guest in. Welcome to the show, Coop.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
You are kind of a nickname guy, right? The Cooper Sharp, DeJean. There's another nickname going around out there, the Exciting Whites. You and Reed Blankenship, you're the safety, another guy in the Eagles secondary. How did that nickname come about? I saw you guys wore the T-shirts. It's kind of caught on a little bit. How'd that all happen?
I was just walking around in the mall, and these two college kids came up to me and said that they had made these shirts of me and Reed, and they showed me a picture. So I told them to send me 2 of them, and me and Reed will wear them to a game, and we did, and then kind of went viral, and now everybody's kind of caught on with the nickname a little bit.
All right, so you're in Philadelphia. You get drafted with another defensive back, Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Bay, is that what they're calling him right now? Did he dub him that himself, or how'd that nickname come about?
Someone posted on social media or something. People showed it to him, and I think he kind of just ran with it. Did you guys see a sweatshirt that he was wearing to the game? Yeah,
we saw the sweatshirt that he was wearing, the Quinyon Bay. He's got to get all the stats of all the receivers he's gone with, down the back of it, so it just it adds the legend grows. You tweeted out, "Hey, this guy should be the Rookie of the Year." Give me your case right now for why your teammate should be the Rookie of the Year when you're having a hell of a year yourself, but selfless guy. Give us a pitch for your teammate, Quinyon Mitchell.
I mean, if you look at the people he's gone up against as a rookie, first year in the NFL, playing against the best players in the world. If you look at the players he played against, look at their stats, and just watch him on tape, watch the way he plays, how he can cover. I don't think there's ever been a rookie who's played at this high of a level, this early.
Maybe they make like a co-rookie of the year, and you guys can both share in it. What was the difference when you came into the lineup versus dealing with a little adversity in the beginning of your career? Like, how did that transition happen for you this year?
I had an early injury, during camp, which kind of set me back a little bit, and then I played primarily on special teams the first 4 weeks, but still getting reps in practice, learning the defense. Then I got my shot. After the bye week, kind of just been trying to take it all in. From there, learn as much as I can. Throughout the weeks, how to prepare. A lot of veterans in our locker room who help out with that. Which is great, and having Q, there as well, and a fellow rookie going through our first year in the NFL together, being able to learn, from each other and study together. I think that's played a big part.
So coming out of that bye week, you getting your shot, what was your welcome to the NFL moment as a rookie?
First of all, just being on the same field as Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and then making that hit that I did was crazy against one of the best running backs to ever do it, and still doing it at a high level. But yeah, that was insane. I still can't wrap my head around it. What happened?
But for walk us through it, he's getting that quick pass out there, you're breaking on it, and he's kind of bobbling the ball a little bit. Are you trying to get there before he could get his feet together, or what are you telling yourself?
I'm trying to get there as fast as possible before he can start moving. I don't really want to take on all 250 pounds, running full speed ahead at me. I was trying to get there as fast as possible right when he turned around, so he couldn't start running at me. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. He wasn't even moving, and I still felt it.
You got to get that train before it leaves the station. So, rest of the game, are you kind of side-eyeing, seeing if he gets a toss to get you back?
Luckily, I don't think he had a chance to get me back the rest of that game, which was probably good for me.
Now, let's talk about your offense for a second. We just mentioned Derrick Henry, former teammate of mine, current teammate of yours, Saquon Barkley, just set the single-season Philadelphia Eagles rushing record, passing Shady McCoy. What's it like seeing Saquon go to work every single day? Yeah, you're hitting Derrick Henry, but fortunately you got Saquon on the other side to make all the other DBs look silly. What's that been like?
I don't think I've ever seen a better football player on the football field ever than Saquon Barkley, and the things he can do with the ball in his hands. It's crazy to think that last year I was watching this guy on TV, and now I'm teammates with him. But I love watching him play football. He plays hard every single snap that he's out there. Obviously he's done a lot of special things. This year that spin move into a backwards hurdle, that was probably the greatest football play I've ever seen. Probably won't even see it again unless he does it again.
He already said he's not planning on ever attempting that again. But watching that live, what was your immediate reaction? Was it more exciting or just shock?
I was just in shock. I didn't know how he even thought to do that. How does that even come to your mind to pull off a spin move and then try to spin again, but stop and jump backwards over a dude? That's just crazy football instincts.
All right, so let's talk about your quarterback for 1 second here. He is a player that every quarterback faces scrutiny, faces praise, or gets the praise heaped on them when they're doing good things. Jalen Hurts just seems to be as cool as a cucumber. No matter the ups or the downs, he is the same guy day in and day out. What's it like being in the locker room with him? How does he lead this team? I know not all leaders are rah-rah guys. Some lead by example. What's Jalen Hurts like as a leader and as a teammate?
I mean, he's a great teammate. He's not a big rah-rah guy. He leads by example. Just watching him play the game and how he handles himself, in tough situations. It's cool to see, especially as a young guy, seeing what he's able to do, how he's able to handle adversity. He just seems to always be, calm, cool, and collected, at all times, no matter what's going on. So as a young guy coming in and seeing that really sets a good example for us.
Coop, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. This was awesome. You and Saquon, tell Slay he owes us an interview. He was supposed to come on the show, so we need to get your running mate Slay back on here. Big play Slay.
And Big Dom. I still want to meet Big Dom.
And we got to get Big Dom on here. We appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the season.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Dang, we had him the whole time, and we didn't even ask him about the Eagles-Steelers game this week.
I know.
That's probably the biggest game to look downfield to.
It's definitely the biggest game.
One of the biggest
games.
Yes. We got a lot of big games coming up.
Great weekend of games.
Yes. All right, so let's kick it off with Eagles-Steelers game.
All right, Eagles-Steelers. I think the Steelers have outperformed all season long. They are a team that I didn't pick to go very far. We both picked the Cleveland Browns to beat them this last weekend.
And they could have. They could have. The Browns didn't do enough to win that game, and the Steelers capitalized every time the Browns folded.
I see that one a little bit different. I mean, the Steelers did their job. And Mike Tomlin has to be getting considerations for Coach of the Year because they're 9-3. I cannot believe 10-3. Are they 10-3 now? I thought they didn't get their bye. They get their bye. 10-3. They got a lot of freaking wins. And I was not expecting this to happen. They're going to play Philadelphia Eagles.
This is a good game for them. Have they had their test game yet?
I mean, they played Baltimore. They played Baltimore.
Did they win?
They beat the Ravens. Now they conquered Cincinnati, and they beat Cleveland the second time around.
Some good get-back games.
Some good get-back games, but the Eagles have been beating everybody. They also beat Baltimore. They also beat the Commanders.
They also just escaped the Panthers. I don't think the Steelers is going to be in that position.
I think that was the Panthers caught the Eagles slipping a little bit. They caught them asleep at the wheel. It's the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Eagles are not going into this game against the Steelers like thinking this is going to be an easy one. They at least know it's going to be a physical battle, and the Steelers pride themselves on their physicality. A big issue is George Pickens playing because when George Pickens is playing on the outside, his ability to make the catches and his catch radius and his ability to make those contested catches takes the Steelers to the next level on offense. When you can just throw it up to somebody and you know odds are he's coming down with it, it changes the dynamics of that offense. The Eagles have the advantage in the trenches. Steelers may have the best D-line in football. You got T.J. Watt, you have Cam Hayward, you have Alex Smith, who's I don't know if he's playing or not. He's got an injury. But the Eagles' offensive line is the best in the NFL. So if there's an O-line to match up against the Steelers, it's Philly. Saquon's going for the record. I see Eagles winning this one. They're going to come out and make a statement. Saturday night, we have a marquee matchup.
Saturday night?
Saturday night. We're starting the Saturday flex games because college football is done besides the playoffs. But so Saturday nights are now legal for NFL to play in. So the Buffalo Bills stay on the road. They're coming back from California in the sun. They're going up to Detroit, and they're taking on the Lions at Ford Field.
Okay, we got a controlled environment, indoor field, coming off of a heartbreaking loss for them. Now they're going against another team who could arguably be can this be one of the conference games?
This could be a Super Bowl preview. That's how I'm looking at this one. The Eagles-Steelers, maybe that's also a Super Bowl preview. I don't think so. I think there's better AFC teams. But if I was going out of the AFC right now, if I'm picking one of three teams to come out of the AFC, I'm either going Kansas City, Baltimore, or the Bills. Out of the NFC, I'm going Lions or Eagles. Those are my two teams.
Yeah.
There's going to be a dark horse. Don't get me wrong. The Packers look really good, too.
We about to get us a little baby Super Bowl.
Here's my fear. This is going to have to be a shootout because Detroit's defense is not slowing down Josh Allen. Nobody has been able to slow down Josh Allen.
Teamwork, baby.
Keon Coleman coming back. Dalton Kincaid coming back for the Bills. Those would be some really good reinforcements to have. But the one area where I think Buffalo is the weakest is their run defense. And the Detroit Lions.
Got the 1-2 to open that up.
Tote that rock. Sonic and Knuckles.
All right, well, the biggest
might
question.
Have something to say about it.
Biggest question is who you got coming out of that?
I am going to say the Detroit Lions are winning this game. I just think their ability to run the ball, Dan Campbell is a risk taker. He's going for it on fourth down. I'm a fan of the Detroit Lions. But let's just say I'll play devil's advocate. So you go Lions. Let me just give you the scenario.
Argue with yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to argue with myself. I like to argue. We didn't have anyone to argue with, so I'm going to argue with myself.
Go ahead.
Josh Allen is playing at an MVP level. Khalil Shakir had some great plays, some long touchdown runs. Keon Coleman's coming back. He's that red zone target. James Cook has been great at running back. If the Buffalo Bills wake up with violence on their mind, ready to stop the run and match David Montgomery's violence, they have a chance to win this game. Ed Oliver, let's buckle that chin strap up. Von Miller, let's go back to the Von Miller that was with, the Denver Broncos. Start getting in there. Start getting a little dirty in the trenches. Jordan Phillips, some of these D tackles we signed midway through the season. Matt Milano, you just came back off of IR, running downhill. The Buffalo Bills can do it. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. You just got embarrassed in LA. It's time to go to Detroit and right the ship and get back on track. You can still get the 1 seed. Do it. Do it now. No, the Detroit Lions win. I'm kidding.
Hell of a monologue, buddy.
You thought the Buffalo Bills won?
Huh?
Did I convince you at all?
No. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't listen to a word you said, baby.
You ignored me?
Yeah, oh, what? Next up, we got the Chargers Bucks, but I'm sure we can both agree Chargers winning that game. So let's go to
Bucks are running that ball. But we like Jim Harbaugh. We'll go with the Bucks. Or we'll go with the Chargers. We'll go with the Chargers. Because I want to talk about this next game because me and you, this is like two of our favorite teams.
Now, the next matchup is the Browns-Chiefs. Hearing it out loud, you say, oh, Chiefs go win that game. But, boy, the Chiefs have been escaping some games now. If there's going to be anybody that can match some Mahomes magic, it's going to be some Jameis.
It's the Winston wizardry.
I'll take it.
You like that?
I'll take it.
Now, he's going to throw a couple interceptions.
Oh, he's going to throw at least 2. He's going to throw at least 2. But he might throw him a 360 ton. Bro, this is one of those games that if you see the final score, I will not be surprised if the Browns pull this off.
Now, I am going to just drop the records here for a second.
Yeah, I get it.
Cleveland's 3-9.
Out loud, it sounds crazy. But the Browns is one of those teams to mess your season up.
I'm going Chiefs because until you knock off Patrick Mahomes, I gotta go with the Chiefs.
I mean, I'm not going to put no money on the game. But I think the Browns win this game.
Yeah, because we love Cleveland. Cleveland, we love you. And we actually think this is a battle of two of the best fan bases, too, in the NFL.
Like I said at the beginning of the episode, we're nearing the end of season 1. It took us, 7 weeks, and we finally got the upgrade, start, bench, trade, cut.
Let us know if you like that one. We had our second defensive player on back-to-back weeks. We had a linebacker, we had a DB. Wait till you see who we have in tune for next week. You guys are going to like this one.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments if y'all got any guesses. Stay beautiful until then.